So this isn't really a full episode. I'm just going to do a repair on my BMW washer cover. So let's tuck into it.
360, 75 hours, 10-6.
So this is the little lens cover, or the cover for the sprayer on my BMW, specifically for spraying washer fluid onto the headlights. And these little tabs broke off, I don't know when, but before I owned the car, and somebody just, as you can see, used something to repair them somewhat, and they finally gave up in the snow and ice, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of this crap, two-part epoxy, whatever they've put here, and clean these up, and let's see if we can't fix this properly. So I get tucked into this just using a set of chisels. I started here with a curved chisel, but quickly found that it wasn't the right shape, so just moved on to a flat chisel instead. And that seemed to work. Sometimes smaller is better, sometimes bigger is better. In this case, smaller was better. So what I'm doing here is I get up underneath it with this little flat bit chisel here. And once I get underneath, what I do is I just walk it left to right, back and forth, and I let the bit sort of walk forward. If you can imagine the large bit like this, as I rock it up, this side goes forward and it lifts the epoxy up. So I'm walking it forward underneath just by rocking it back and forth and having a little bit of forward pressure on it. And that just allows, me to not gouge into the base material, but rather just glide over the top of that base material while removing the epoxy. Right? I don't want to gouge into it. I don't want to remove any of that base material. I just want to get rid of the crap epoxy that's on top. Okay, so as you can see, what I've done here is I've just cleaned this up, got rid of all of the epoxy that was in there, and I cleaned up these pieces as well so that we can glue them back into place like that. So let's go get some adhesive and get these back into place. So in order to be able to bond these properly and do it right, we need to know what kind of plastic this is. So what we do is we look on the back for some kind of marking on the back side. And on this particular part, that marking is right here and it's really small. So I grab my loop, and what it is it says PBT plus P, which is a polybutylene terephthalate, okay, or terephthalate, which is an engineering thermoplastic polyester. So it's rigid, it's tough, it's dimensionally stable, it has good heat resistance, and it is common in automotive exterior and under hood parts. The plus P means that it's a polymer blend or a proprietary modifier that BMW adds to this. So it's not a standardized symbol to have the plus P at the end. So the PBT is really what we're looking for. But likely it's some kind of a plasticizer or impact modifier. So, it doesn't definitely doesn't mean that it's polypropylene. That's PP. So, this is a modified PBT engineered plastic. So, because of that, it's different than the type of plastic that is on a bumper. It's quite a bit more rigid, but it also means because it's PBT, epoxies actually bond to it very well. So what we're going to do is I have some Cyberbond 5000 in my gun here. I have a little mixing stick that is very cool because it actually has like these little channels inside that force the two parts to mix together when they come out. So I've got that, but what we're going to do is we're going to clean this with isopropyl rubbing alcohol. We're then going to scuff the surface with 180 or 320 or some 220 sandpaper just to create a physical scratching on the surface where we're going to bond it. Then we're going to clean it again with some more alcohol and then mix this up and put the parts in place and hold them in place, likely with some tape. I'll use some masking tape in order to not only locate them in, locate them in this direction, but also so that I can push down on them because there's no real way to clamp these, properly. So let's clean this, sand it, and get ready to bond it. Okay, so as you can see, what I've done is I've just used some thin strips of masking tape, first over the top to hold it in place, then this way here and here in order to make sure that it can't fall in any further, and then one across between the two just to tighten it up so that they stay in place. And then I just touched the bottom just to make sure everything was lined up. So this also allows me access in through the sides here. Instead of using a big thick piece of tape, I can actually get in there with a tool, and once I mix up the epoxy, I can take one of my dental tools and I can use that to put the epoxy exactly where I want it, how I want it. So let's mix up the epoxy and get that going. Okay, I actually had to go out and I picked up this JB Well plastic bonder. It was the best suggestion for me. That other stuff I had was toast. It was just too old. So epoxy does not last forever. You think that something that's just a chemical that's not necessarily inert, but you'd think that it would last, but nope. So anyways, we are going to mix up this plastic bonder, and we are going to get it into these parts and get it bonded together. Okay, so I'm not sure if you noticed, but this is the dental tool that I actually used to put the epoxy in place. And I mean, come on, it's, it really does a great job. If you can get your hands on dental tools, as you can see, I was able to very delicately, get it in and around, and, just feathered it a little bit out towards the edges. So I'm just going to leave that to dry, just standing up like that. And then you can take a look and I'll decide whether or not I want to actually put a second coat on. I don't think it's going to need it. I think it'll be fine. As far as, dental tools go, the dental hygienists constantly break these. So they use them and they have to sharpen them constantly. And the more they sharpen them, the weaker they become, right? So what ends up happening is they end up breaking and then they're garbage. Now, some places recycle them, but if you actually ask your hygienist, hey, do you have any old tools that are no longer being used, or you can't sharpen them, or they're broken, and if you're happy to give them a couple dollars each, I've collected a whole bunch of different types. I've collected this type here, and with the aluminum handle, and again, it's like, I got all these for free, right? And I have more. They, for the most part, they're done once they're done. And if you're really nice to your hygienist, they are usually more than happy to give them to you. So that's just a tip, that may come in handy for you with automotive work or model making or what have you. It never hurts to have these types of tools around for for this type of particular job. So anyway, let's let that dry, and that pretty much will wrap that up. Okay, so this is now dried. I left it overnight just to dry or to harden, cure as the case may be. And just going to take this apart with the help of Hobbs. You going to help me, Hobbs? Hey? Okay, it's very exciting. All right, I'll zoom out so that you can help me here. Here you go. You play with that. All right, and just pop this out, and then I'll try and show you this if the cat will let me. But basically, that is... No, don't eat it. Cats. So basically that is now secure. And as you can see, I can wobble that back and forth, no problem. No concern about it breaking. And now I can go pop this back into the car. And I'll just give a little bit of a clean up here to get rid of, the bug guts and what have you on here. And we'll pop this back into the car and should be good. So that's how you repair one of those.